It's Wednesday night. It's June 21st, 2023. Brand new episode of the Kicking Out Podcast, streaming live on the Kicking Out Podcast YouTube channel and on our Twitter page. Follow us at Kicking Out Pod if you haven't done so already. I'm Tanner Lee. Full crew in the house tonight. Co-host Paul Zartman's back this week, along with Austin Shepard. We're going to be reviewing the AEW Dynamite edition, Go Home edition, I should say. Going into Forbidden Door, since now we have two huge weekly shows. You can't really call it just the Go Home show since we have Collision now, and we will also be talking about Collision that happened this past Saturday. But what's going on, fellas? And Paul, good to have you back this week.
Glad to be.
Good talk, Paul.
I think Paul's having some internet issues. Little spotty connection there. And he is frozen on my screen. Is he frozen on your screen, Austin?
Never seen him move so slowly.
All right.
That was a compliment, Paul.
That answers that. And Maj is asking, is Paul frozen? Well, he was momentarily. Now he's frozen again. And he's buffering.
I did feel like tonight was a go-home show for Forbidden Door.
I felt that way too, especially as the night went on. We got more and more matches, which I was pleading for before the show started. I text you guys. I'm like, we better get some matches tonight.
Did we have 5 going into tonight?
4 or 5, I think 5.
And then we got another 5 tonight.
I was afraid they were going to hold off for announce a lot of it on Saturday at Collision, but you got to get the buys going. So it was smart of them to do tonight.
Yeah, and I'm guessing they don't have a problem selling tickets. So what tickets are left, I'm guessing, will be scooped up now once they announce the other 5 matches.
Yeah, this show, I know Canada's been getting ripped for the Collision attendance, even though the attendance numbers have went up for almost every show since Saturday's Collision, which we'll talk about here in a bit. But this show hasn't had problems since it was announced. This show's not for your casual wrestling fan. This show, Forbidden Door, is for the diehards, AEW, New Japan, and just diehard pro wrestling fans.
Yeah, if you're just an AEW fan, you're going to look at this card and kind of shake your head like, what have I been watching the last, say, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and how does this stuff fit together? This is a culmination of Tony Khan doing what we want to do every week in Fantasy Book. The only difference between us doing it and Tony doing it, he's got a little bit more financial backing.
Just a little.
And he decides to take his financial backing, put on a show like this, and make $1 or $2 off of it. So good for him.
Yeah, because I've seen some critics out there talk about lack of storytelling. Well, this isn't the show for that. And there has been some storytelling with some of the matches. They've done some good vignettes, hyping up other matches. Just like you said, it's pretty much the dream card event.
And when you have, 3 or 4 top New Japan guys that are obviously in Japan leading up to this, all they can do is vignettes. They can't make appearances, fly back, even though we've seen Aussie Open do that. They've logged some airline miles.
Right.
But yeah, I think at first I was kind of bitter about that. Then I got to thinking about, like, how can you can't do that. It's just not possible. So I guess put that aside and enjoy what we get.
Hey, you're getting compliments on your vocabulary here, Shep.
Well, I am a thesaurus.
Got to get the McSorley ribs in there.
Don't get me started on my boy Marty McSorley.
And Paul is back now. Paul is back. So,
Yes.
Clear screen, Paul.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get you switched back to the middle, Paul, here, but
yeah, it's kind of weird. Now the KOP things is like, it's hiding my double chin. So.
Well, here I can make that. I can make that fix here.
Take Shep away.
There we go.
Oh, they're back.
There we go. There we go. So, all right, Paul, I'm letting you have the read tonight.
Okay. I had it. Let me pull it back up because, everything decided to crash all at once. You got to love it.
But I believe before we get into the Dynamite review, you have a question you need to ask Austin to kick off the podcast. So.
Yeah, while I'm pulling all this up, hey, Shep, what are we drinking tonight?
Or eating.
Or eating.
I got a story about the pickles. They're so darn good. We kind of ate a lot of them. We're down to one jar already. And I went to go get them at 10:19, and my wife has done a lot of cooking for some events she's got coming up, and they are so buried in that fridge. I felt like I was going to wake up the whole house trying to get them. So next week we will have I think they're called the Devil Spears, the MGF Devil Spears, but they are the spicy garlic spears. Is all I got left.
The chips are gone.
Those chips, at first I'm like, who in the hell would eat honey mustard pickle chips? Holy shit, are those good. I don't know how many cold cut sandwiches I've had for lunch over the last 2 weeks, or just eat them. They are the stupidest thing in the world, but they're so good. And they just had a pickle drop last week. I was in the queue for 14 minutes and missed it. They sold out in 14 minutes, and they said they doubled their production.
That's unbelievable.
Wow.
It's stupid.
Majin said he's eating muffins. Mindy's muffins, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Gold Belly can ship Mindy's muffins now.
He probably has some nice Canadian bakery up there that he gets them from.
Well, if he's in Canada, he better be eating bagels because they're like known for their bagels, right?
I'll let him comment on that. I have no idea.
I think they are. Yeah.
Never been to Canada, so.
Went to Canada when I was 18 so I could drink Labatt Blue.
There you go. Oh, what are you drinking tonight?
And a lot of debauchery. Oh, yeah. All right. Again, so Tanner knows this. For the last 2.5 weeks, I have lived at the golf course.
Yeah.
Between our golf tournaments and then these charity scrambles that you got to do as a local person, I have lived at the golf tournament. So I have lacked on my drink selection. I tried to find something Australian, but our small town has nothing but Foster's, and I've been told by many of Australians Foster's is not Australian beer.
No.
So, I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. I'm not going to have a cocktail. So, just had to dip into the old reserve, and Kettle One, I'm still looking for that sponsorship. we're top 30 in Australia, big dogs.
Yes.
Australians like the spirits, they call them. They don't call them liquor over there. They call them spirits. But, hey, Kettle One, I'll wear a T-shirt. I'll get a tattoo on my forehead. I don't care. Whatever you guys want.
Yeah,
it'll be removable every week, maybe.
We were charting at one time this week in 4 different countries. So thank you to everybody who's been listening and viewing the Kicking Out podcast. We really appreciate the support, especially you Australians, because we charted pretty high there so far. So this week, and we haven't moved. So
I do have a good Australian friend that's in the States right now. He's a race car driver, and he tells me he's going to get me some. I think it's Carlton Dry.
Carlton Dry, yeah.
I think that's the beer they drink. Now, I had another good friend that lived in Australia when she was married, and she brought me back Vegemite. That is awful.
Yeah, I've heard you love it or you hate it.
Do not eat Vegemite.
Yeah.
That is – I had it on – I think they put it on crackers. I had it on a cracker. Ooh, man.
No go.
There's a lot of other stuff that I got to eat before I go back to Vegemite.
Well, I wasn't gonna have a drink tonight, but then I'm like, I wanna join the party. I want to join the fun. It's Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So I got in the fridge, pulled out the last Arnold Palmer in the fridge. Got to finish it off tonight. It's still golf week in my mind. We're coming off the U.S. Open, so.
What a boring U.S. Open. Nothing against Wyndham Clark, okay?
I know.
But the crowd sucked. L.A. sucks. Boo.
LA's not a good sports town, and I know people are gonna get on me because they've won a lot of championships, but they don't show up for things.
No.
So
I thought the golf course had a. I mean, yeah, I know they made a big deal with the rough and stuff, but I just didn't think the golf course was that great.
No.
And by the way, we don't call those spiked Arnold Palmers; those are called
John Daly's. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet John's a little mad that Arnold's brand got on this so fast.
He's got it. He's got his own.
He's got one. Yeah, it's just not here yet.
The Good Boy cocktails, but they're not available in Indiana yet. But we'll get some of those because he is the legend. Nothing against Arnold Palmer. He's pretty damn good too. But John Daly's the GOAT.
I can't deny that. Paul,
John Daly's the Ric Flair of professional golf.
That is the truest statement ever on this podcast. Pat Perez might be the modern day.
Yeah, Pat.
He's a little more of a douche, though.
Yeah, Pat. I mean, if we're talking modern day guys, and I know Paul, a shocker, we're going down a rabbit hole. We're talking about professional golf on a professional wrestling podcast.
Yeah, why do you think I've just been kind of just
the modern day is Harry Higgs.
That's true. He just doesn't even play enough because he can't. He's not good enough to get into anything.
He's working on it.
I like Harry Higgs.
Harry Higgs. So I refuse to when I play golf. I refuse to button my golf shirt now. I'm wide open like Harry Higgs.
Oh God!
And I mean, I got the V tan line right here going on because Harry Higgs. He's got a little belly. He likes to drink his vodka, and he didn't give a shit. And I can relate that.
Want to say evening to the broadcast podcast in Australia? Evening, mates.
evening?
Paul, what are you drinking before we hop into Dynamite?
Iced tea.
All right, so you're drinking half.
Are you unsweet or sweet and iced tea?
Sweet.
You gotta go sweet.
Ooh.
Yeah, gotta go sweet. So you're
Maybe a little too sweet, but you know.
You kind of relate. You kind of relate. I was gonna say, where'd you get it from? Because I drink a lot of too sweet. Nice, nice. I didn't even put two.
Didn't even think about it, Shep.
We're gonna get a cease and desist letter now.
Yeah, thanks, Shep.
I'll frame it and put it right there.
Shep's gonna add to his collection. He's already got one. He'll get another one.
Actually, I've gotten two.
He'll add a third. I do need some more stuff on my wall back here. So.
There you go.
All right, Paul, take it away. We went down a rabbit hole long enough.
All right, so the show kicks off without Orange Cassidy. Instead, we get the Hardys taking on the Guns. I know, it's weird.
I actually kind of forgot this was going to be a match until it opened the show.
Yeah, the Hardys came out, and I was like, "What are they doing?" And then it dawned on me, "Oh, the Guns. That's right. Yeah, nobody cares."
Oh, I think they're getting better and better. I'm starting to turn into a fan. I wish they had a better theme. But
they're going after that old theme their dad had back before he was Mr. Ass. They've made a comment, I think, almost every match that they remind you that these guys have only had 2.5 years of experience.
Right.
So they think they're going, hey, these guys are pretty good for only 2.5 years experience. Hardys are working on 25 to 30, right?
God, yeah.
So, they have the look. They definitely have the look. They have the arrogance of a good heel. Mm-hmm. Maybe their appearance with their gear could be a little bit different, but I mean, they're what, 24 and 26?
Yeah, they're pretty young. I'll check that. I'll fact check that real quick.
I think that they could really.
Austin Gunn's 28. He's the older one.
28, 26 then?
And Colton, and I know Colton's real. Oh, wait, no, Colton's the older one. He's 32. Excuse me. I thought Austin was older.
They're way older than I thought they were.
32 and 28.
Well, then it's time for them to go then.
Yeah, I mean, but Colton doesn't have much experience at all. Austin's got more experience than he does. Colton just debuted on November 11th, 2020.
So, I think they have a shot to be a predominant tag team in AEW / ROH because I feel like that could be a feeder system for AEW. Not necessarily like an NXT, but something that can mesh. But yeah, I feel like for FTR to want to work with them like they did before, I feel like that gives them a little bit of street cred.
And I think them holding the titles for a little bit was huge too.
Yeah, I know a lot of people claim the only reason they're holding the titles because who their dad was, but I don't think their dad has that much creative control at AEW.
I don't either.
No.
I don't either.
No.
And, look how far these guys have came. Like, in the pandemic era, they were keeping the show going from ringside with their voices and making noise, and now they're kicking off Dynamites, and some weeks they've been in the main event. So, and they're going to be in a big match on Collision on Saturday. So.
And I thought that this was not a bad match to lead off the show with. And I thought they performed really well. I thought the match was a lot better than I expected.
Yep.
I felt like Matt Hardy has rested up. He looked a lot better tonight than I've seen him in the past. Jeff, still, I know they're playing the ring rust card a lot, but I felt like Jeff looked out of breath after the entrance tonight.
Majin says, don't forget the Guns have a victory against FTR and the Hardy Boys now. They're presented like stars. They're definitely getting that push, and they haven't been officially announced as members of Bullet Club Gold, but put 2 and 2 together there, which we'll talk about here in a bit. So yeah, no, I enjoyed this match. The crowd was hot tonight. Chicago crowd, kudos to them. Hot crowd tonight, and they popped right away when they heard that Hardy Boy music.
Now the finish, I'm sorry, after the match was now the finish, I guess, started to kind of be a complete shit show.
A lot going on.
A lot going
on. Fill us in there, Paul. Oh, we lost Paul. I guess I will fill us in. So, but yes. Paul's back. Paul's back, maybe. Well, I will fill us in while we wait for Paul. But towards the end, and I do want to say, I think it was Austin Gunn. I think one of the guys, it was Austin took it. He sold the Twist of Fate better than I've ever seen it sold before tonight. That reminded me of Scott Hall taking the stunner at WrestleMania 18. Yeah. That was beautiful. But towards the end, we saw Jeff tag in. He hit a double DDT. He dropped Austin with the Twist of Fate. But as he looked for a Swanton bomb, Juice Robinson distracted the official. Jay White pushed Jeff from the top turnbuckle, which allowed the Guns to hit their double team finish for the win.
Good. I think this is a good finish. It doesn't hurt the Hardys at all.
Right.
And then it segued into what we saw afterwards.
Yep. After the match, we saw Bullet Club Gold jump Matt Hardy while Jay White dropped him with a Blade Runner, and then Juice Robinson hit Jeff with a right handful of quarters. Ricky Starks then ran down, but he got attacked due to the numbers game. That FTR hit the ring, big pop from the crowd. Numbers game was still against them. Then CM Punk came out. He evened the odds. The babyface sent the group packing. Then Punk on the microphone says he is a Collision guy. It isn't supposed to be here, but they will see them on Saturday. Which I want to talk about that bit right there. So he's saying he's a Collision guy. He's not supposed to be here. We haven't got official news if there's going to be a hard brand split, a soft brand split, but with him making comments like that, tells me there's going to be some sort of split coming.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to split.
I know.
Now do we would predominantly want to say we're going to see Punk in FTR on Collision? That's fine because of the travel schedules if that's what they want to do, but there's nothing wrong with them showing up on Dynamite or a Dynamite guy showing up on Collision. I love that. It doesn't oversaturate. If they have enough talent, it doesn't oversaturate them where, oh, my God, we only see this person on Wednesdays. We see him every Wednesday. We don't see him on Saturdays. Mix it up. I don't think you have to have that.
I don't mind it as long as it's like one storyline, maybe two, kind of going back and forth between shows. But if we're getting too many, and then you're seeing the same people on both shows all the time, that's when I'm going to have problems, because the nice thing about both shows, as we saw on Saturday's debut of Collision, is getting talent that haven't been factored in on Dynamite, factored in on Collision, a.k.a. Miro coming back, Andrade, Scorpio Sky, the likes of those guys.
And while we're talking about Punk, might as well talk about this. His original, I don't know if they made the announcement. I know it was on the dirt sheets. his original Forbidden Door opponent says he don't want to work with him.
Yeah, Kenta didn't want to work with him. And I don't understand it, but
I feel now the match we're gonna get is, and I know the guy probably you're gonna say he's 52 years old. He's not in his prime. I looked his age up. That's how I know his age. Not that I'm that big of a Kojima fan. I think he was great in his prime. He's 52 years old. I know Punk's in his mid to late 40s. But, I mean, we're going to get Punk Kojima now, which I would say at 10 years ago, everybody would have been like, no way in heck that's going to happen.
Right.
But now we're going to get it, and I'd rather see that than him and Kenta.
Yeah, a few months ago, I was for the Kenta Punk stuff, but the longer it prolonged and the closer we got, I wasn't feeling it so much. I don't think either guy had their heart into it. So I'm all good with the direction they went. But while we're talking about Punk and everything, what did you guys think of Collision Saturday? I'm assuming both of you watched it by now.
Yes. It was good. That promo definitely hinted at Punk turning heel, but the main event didn't really point in that direction, so I'm interested to see what happens.
I was reading a report today. The main event was so long because originally Kenta was supposed to attack Punk after the match, but Kenta pulled out of everything the ninth hour, so it left AEW with really nothing planned after the match. So that's why that kind of felt like that, because that was my big complaint. Was I liked the show. I thought it had a big show feel, a big show presentation, even bigger than Dynamite, to be honest. I thought the camera work was real good. The set was beautiful and modern looking. Commentary, oh my God. Commentary team was awesome. Okay, well, aside from JR, but JR's going to take some time off. He had a rough night, took a spill. Shouldn't have been on commentary to begin with. Tried to, and it just wasn't good. But
his whole eye swollen shut.
It was awful. Yeah, and Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness, awesome. Give them a month, they might be the best commentary team in pro wrestling. Yeah, in my opinion, they are really good. What I like about Nigel is he's a true color commentator. I mean, he was explaining things to the audience like it's their first time they've ever seen a talent, or maybe first time they've ever watched wrestling. I really liked that a lot. Whole different style than we see with Excalibur, Shivani, and Taz. But we saw Shivani be a part of Saturday night with the Acclaimed and got to do the scissor, which he said he was not expecting. That was a lot of fun. Like I was telling Shep when you were trying to get your connection back, Paul, it was nice to see Miro back. It was nice to see Andrade back. Nice to see a promo from Scorpio Sky. I really enjoyed the Andrade Buddy Matthews, about called a Buddy Matthews match. I thought that was really good. I liked how they paid homage to their significant others with their finishers. Thought that was pretty cool. And I like that this week we're going to get Andrade versus Brody King, because I'm all for the trios feud of the House of Black and Andrade and his boys, but I like that we're going to get some one-off singles matches. That's what they need to start doing with these trio rivalries.
Andrade and Brody could steal that show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And they both had me sold for a little bit that they were both hurt the other night too, but it was just storytelling. I mean, they were that good. And I don't know about the Luchasaurus beating Wardlow. I mean, he didn't go over clean because Christian hits Wardlow with the camera 3 times, but this is crazy thing I heard on the podcast this week. Wardlow's lost the TNT title 3 times since Orange Cassidy's won the international title.
I don't like.
That's not
like good. how they're playing hot potato with that belt. I know some people have made a comment. It's a television title, so it should only change hands on television. I get that, but again, it's professional wrestling. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, I'm just a Wardlow fan. I was really hoping this reign would last longer. I don't know. I don't know what they do with him. I mean, this guy was one of the hottest baby faces a year ago, and they've just kind of dropped the ball with him. Maybe they need to turn him heel. I don't know. But he needs to stay away from the TNT title for a while. I don't know, but this could be interesting if if Christian kind of acts like he has the title, even though Luchasaurus won it. And I think it's interesting that Luchasaurus has single gold before Jack Perry.
That's a good point.
That is.
How am I going to say this? Luchasaurus is not like he might be the champion, but I feel like Christian's going to do all the mic work.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
He's just going to grunt. So I don't see it, and I hope I'm correct that it's not a long title reign.
Yeah. Malgin said Jack needs to find himself. He's got nothing besides a theme. I think he needs to turn heel. I think he needs to turn on Hook and turn heel. Maybe we see seeds planted of that Sunday.
That might be the only thing that I would question coming into the Sunday. I know we hit on the storytelling. How do you throw Jack Perry into the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match?
It doesn't make sense.
No, not at all.
There's a lot of guys.
Yeah. It's but yeah, I liked Collision. I thought it was good. It did a pretty good number. It didn't do as high as the first episode of Dynamite or even the second episode of Rampage when Punk returned. But it's getting a tougher night, a tougher time slot. But if they could continue doing that number or close to it every week, Turner's gonna be pretty happy.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So while we were gone, or while I was gone, I should say, what did you two talk about? Did you just cover the first match?
We covered the first match and everything that happened. Yep, after it. So we're ready for the concession stand brawl.
Well, I have one comment to add to the post match. Punk's statement: "I'm a Collision guy."
Yes.
Definitely hints more at the that brand split that we've been kind of all waiting for.
We were talking about that a little bit. Shep doesn't want to see a brand split.
I don't either.
I think, and I don't mind talent showing up on both shows as long as it's like only one or two storylines. If it gets too many storylines crossing over, then we're in a problem because then you have a lot of talent not being featured again.
Right. But I back to the Punk turning heel thing. If anybody remembers when he first turned heel in WWE after the first brand split, he did almost the exact same thing. I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm a insert show guy. I think we're going to get that heel turn probably by the end of the year.
I think you're right.
So for him to turn heel, he's first thing he turns on is FTR, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
They got to give him a little run, sell more merch, and then, yeah.
Oh, heel Punk will sell merch like crazy.
Was Dax wearing a Chicago Punk shirt tonight?
It was FTR done up with the Chicago,
which they sold exclusively for 24 hours online the other day and at the United Center. And Punk had a Danhausen shirt tonight.
Yep.
That could be an interesting way to turn him heel. Have him turn on Danhausen when Danhausen comes back.
Well, so if you remember Punk's infamous post-match press conference, he made a comment when he got off of his rant of Colt Cabana. Somebody asked him about his foot, and he says he couldn't find a shoe that fit good, so he wore Danhausen's magic shoes, and they were like a size and a half too small, but they fit and they worked. And he never gave him back, and Danhausen hasn't let him live that down. And then when the news came out that Kenta didn't want to work with Punk, Danhausen came on Twitter and says, "I'll work with Punk, but he's got to lay down because I'm still injured."
Pepsi Phil, as he called him.
Yeah. So, yeah, Danhausen's $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
As much as we never see him wrestle because he's always hurt because he weighs $135, but the guy's $1 million. He's
and he doesn't want to be on TV right now. I heard that on a podcast that he wants to wrestle when he comes back. He doesn't want. He could be on backstage segments right now, even injured, but he doesn't want to be known as just that guy that does backstage segments and promos. He wants to wrestle more. So that's why we're not seeing him. But one more thing on the Collision Punk segment we saw Saturday before I let Paul continue on with the show. I know we're kind of bouncing around, but yes, we heard the counterfeit Bucks line dropped by one Bill Phil, as he said, the management and Turner are calling him. But what did you guys think about him having the bag and supposedly the AEW title? He never lost being in it, and he has the shoes and said, until somebody can fill these boots, I'm not going anywhere. That tells me we're still gonna lead towards the MJF Punk feud, maybe at All In.
I think it'll. Oh, there we go. I think it'll happen. It's crazy that he's still carrying around the belt. I mean, obviously we don't know if it was, but it looked like it. And I love the heat he creates, even if it pisses off the backstage people, because he doesn't care. He's real. To me, he's a better version of Eddie Kingston. Okay, Eddie Kingston just doesn't like anybody, so he doesn't care. Punk's got legit, obviously, beef with these people. There's reports that he shot on Hangman because he's signing an NDA that he can't shoot on the Bucks.
Right.
Now let me that gets it right. I'm fired up now. So you mean to tell me that these guys are making well into the six figures? Okay.
Tanner, hold up the shirt.
Yes. They're making well into the six figures. They're selling merch like crazy. And you mean to tell me that they're so soft that they can't, if they kissed and made up backstage, but they can't come out in the ring and let Punk trash them a little bit? Because if he does, you, me, and everybody in that arena would have popped for it and going, oh, man, he's going deep. He's shooting on him, brother. Who gives a shit? It's professional wrestling. Do what you know will make the crowd react and what's going to make you guys more money in the future. Quit being so soft. And you guys are younger than me, and I can say this, but I think the Bucks are way younger than me.
Not by much.
But I think I'm the cutoff here, by the way, so I can say this. I might get a little heat here. Quit being freaking millennials and being so damn soft. Go make some money, line your pockets with it, and go drink a beer afterwards and be like, man, that was some good stuff. Who cares?
I will say a report that Fightful came out with SRS gives me a little hope maybe something down the line can happen is the Bucks took Punk's counterfeit Bucks comment and we're fine with it. They had no problem, which SRS said that was the first time in many, many months he's heard of anything that Punk's done or said involving the Bucks that the Bucks haven't got upset about. So
I'm just saying, you're in professional wrestling, guys.
If we don't eventually see this story play out, assuming they re-sign with AEW at the end of the year, we dropped the ball big time from a money-making standpoint. But I don't know. I think we have a better chance seeing Punk and Omega feud than we do Punk and the Bucks for whatever reason that might be.
And that's where right there. And I got the pencil. I got a Sharpie.
Yeah,
that right there is where Tony Khan puts his
foot down.
Markism. He's a mark. We all know he is. He's admitted it. He puts that in front of the business if he doesn't make the Bucks do business.
And Majin has a comment.
If they're that soft.
Majin has a comment here about Punk maybe facing MJF again. Why? Punk is fragile. He got injured his second week back from injury as champ. Do we really need to do this again? I definitely see his point. Punk, from a health standpoint, I don't know if you can rely on him, but I think at the end of the day, it's all about the money. It's all about the business.
You got to try for it.
So
if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. But you got to put him in that situation to make you the money.
And there's no guarantee he's gonna win. You got to beat MJF.
No.
No. And see, here's the problem I have with this. I've seen this storyline before, and it involved CM Punk. Only it was against John Cena. When Punk won as champion and then left, yes, I get it was storyline, but we've already seen it. We know how this story is going to play out. Don't give me the I never lost my championship and I'm still your champion and MJF is just your interim champion. I don't want to hear that bull crap again.
Yeah, I agree with Paul. I don't want to hear the intro.
No, I don't either.
We're not with MJF holding the Triple B, so
Nope. So, all right, Paul, we can get back into Dynamite.
All right. 36 minutes into the show, let's talk about the match that started, 15 minutes into the show. And that is the concession stand brawl with Mark Briscoe taking on Jeff Jarrett. Very interesting match. Now, I will admit, I never saw the first one. So
I was back in 79, so I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, I know.
79, and is it
Memphis?
Yeah.
Jerry
Jarrett was Jerry Jarrett.
Yeah. I knew nothing about a concession stand brawl.
And if I remember correctly, reading it, it wasn't supposed to happen. The fight spilled over out of the ring into it, right?
Correct.
And it just happened to be by the concession stand, and patrons were involved, and it got real quick for them.
And we kind of saw what appeared to be patrons getting involved tonight as well. As before the match starts, the ref asks both Jeff and Mark if they're ready to go, then asks the three women standing behind the popcorn hot dog stand if they were ready to go. I don't know why, but
Jeff was already throwing bags of popcorn before the match started.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I did popcorn.
Yeah, it did. A lot of food was wasted. A lot of food and condiments was
dogs,
wasted.
Ketchup, mustard.
That would have pissed me off. That would have pissed me off, even if I was wrestling. If somebody's getting me with ketchup, mustard all over it, yeah.
The hair's one thing, but in the face, that's something different for me. But we see Mark. First Karen interferes. Speaking of the ketchup, spraying it in Mark's eyes.
So that got a big reaction from the crowd. F.U. Jarrett chants were going on.
That's when they started. Mark gets somebody to wash it out with a bottle of water. Again, we try to hide the logo. We all know what brand that was. Mark goes to climb the ladder to put Jeff through a table. Sanjay throws him off. Jeff rolls out of the way. Mark crashes through the table. They made their way to the ring during commercial break. Jay Lethal, Dutt, and Jarrett were all beating on Mark. Jay went outside the ring to get a table set up, but Papa Briscoe popped up and decided to choke slam Jay through the table.
Yeah, what? Choke slam.
Yeah. Of all things. Leave it to Papa Briscoe.
Strong.
He is strong.
Yeah.
Farm strong.
Put on a little bit of weight, too. Anyway.
He's 60 years old, Paul.
I didn't mean it bad.
He's retired.
Okay? Jeez. I mean, we just saw him like a month ago, and he
it's on
looked
Friday
different.
night.
Well, yeah. But, I'm saying he just
beefed up.
seems to be. Yeah. I'm not saying anything bad by it. Beefed up. Put on some weight. Same thing. Jeez, Shep. Don't get so offensive.
Picking up guys.
Yeah. I am one of them. Don't worry. Papa Briscoe gets into the ring and is knocks down Dutt and Jeff. Karen came in, gave Papa Briscoe a low blow. Mark set up Jeff for the J Driller, but Satnam Singh came in, chokeslam Mark. Christopher Daniels, Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, and the Lucha Bros come to the rescue here. All five of them super kick Singh. Phoenix dives off the top rope onto Singh. Penta came into the ring, super kicked Jeff. Mark rolled up Jeff and pinned him.
So is Jeff Dunn in AEW then? Because he was tweeting out if he lost the Mark Briscoe, we'd never see him again. But commentary didn't say anything about it.
Exactly. That's one of those nobody commented on the social media tonight.
This is the only time I will probably say I did not like a Briscoe match.
I didn't care for this either. I was looking forward to it coming in tonight. I thought it'd be fun. It had its moments. It was definitely sports entertainment tonight instead of professional wrestling. That's fine. But I didn't care for it. I was just a little disappointed in it, I guess. Too much interference, which I should have seen coming. But
yeah, we all saw it coming. I mean, but this could set up for a Mark Jeff at the Briscoe family farm.
Yeah, I've seen enough with this rivalry.
Yeah,
I know. So have I. But
we got to find a place for Mark. Do we want to make him just a straight singles competitor?
He doesn't want to do tags or trios, so I think he's a guy you see on ROH and Rampage more times than not, and probably Dynamite. I doubt he's much of a Collision guy, but I don't know.
Probably not. Probably not. So we go backstage where John Moxley's on the Steiner math for the night, as you so kindly tweeted to the Twitter first.
I watched that. I think his math was correct.
It ended up being correct.
It ended up being correct 5-on-5. But at first, you're sitting there going, well, Danielson's got a match. Omega's got a match. Math doesn't add up there. But yes.
Majin said commentary didn't say anything about it, but I think I know where the story will lead.
Yeah. But anyway, Moxley says the BCC will defeat the Elite at Forbidden Door. Danielson told Okada to show up in the ring tonight.
And Danielson Okada's got to be in the main event Sunday, which kind of surprised me. I thought it might be a dual main event, and that would lead into Ospreay and Omega, but
maybe they'll kick off the show.
Oh boy, if they did that.
Imagine following those two.
You know what though? So how hard is it going to be to outdo their match at Wrestle Kingdom? And let's just say half of the AEW population watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I got up at 3 a.m. and watched the show.
I've watched highlights.
My wife made fun of me. She said, "You're a weirdo." It happened.
Yeah, she gave you laundry to do, so you're productive.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, let's just say half of these people, half of the AEW buyers have watched this match. The other half haven't. But the half that has, man, I don't know if you can top that match.
If there's anybody that can, it's these two.
It is, but they're going to have to do something so over the top to make us go wow right now. I just hope they don't do something where it's on the edge of injury. You know what I mean? Like they push it a little too far because they're going to have to.
Yeah, kind of like I just said, Majin. So for anyone else, incredibly hard, but for Ospreay and Omega, not that hard. Yeah, if there's any two guys that can do it, it's probably them. And it's going to be a crazy environment. It's going to be such a pro-Kenny crowd, such an anti-Ospreay crowd. And later in the show, we'll talk about it, but how's Callis going to be involved with this?
Yeah, see, I don't want that. I want just the two of those guys.
I know. I do too.
That's all we ever want, but
yeah. Callis was on Talk of Jericho, and he wants to add to his family. So,
yeah. All right. Up next was a 6-man tag match: Jericho, Suzuki, and Sammy Guevara versus Action Andrade, AR.
Andretti.
I know. I did it on purpose.
Okay.
I do it to rile Shep up.
You riled me up this time because I'm like,
yeah, I know.
Like this guy's been on TV enough.
Yeah, and Darius Martin. All right. Of course, Jericho, Guevara, and Suzuki pick up the victory here. Martin came off the top turnbuckle. Jericho caught him in the Lion Tamer, and Martin submitted.
Yeah, I mean, predictable outcome, but I liked the highlight of the match for me was Suzuki and Jericho doing the Sex Gods pose. Sammy giving a little clap. You can see the Sammy turns coming. You can see it from a mile away. It's coming, and then we're going to get Jericho and Sammy eventually one-on-one.
After he comes back from having a baby.
Yeah, he's got another like 7 months.
I was going to say, I don't think he can wait that long. You got All In coming up in August.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, then All Out the next week, supposedly. So they're going to have a lot of things to put together.
Yes.
But it was a fine match. I mean, it wasn't my favorite of the night, but wasn't the worst either.
After the match, Jericho said Sting is selfish because he shows up wherever he can get the most money. Jericho called Sting a whore. He challenged Sting and Darby Allin to find a partner to face him, Suzuki, and Guevara to a match at Forbidden Door. Sting and Darby came to the ring. Sting said they accept. Allin told Jericho he made a lot of enemies in a lot of places, and he will find out who their partner will be on Collision for their match at Forbidden Door.
Crowd didn't like that.
Oh, they wanted it tonight.
So who do you guys think it's going to be? Somebody that's got some history with Jericho. I thought it was going to be Ishii, but I was wrong there.
I think Evil.
Evil?
Him and Jericho had a little bit of a feud when Jericho was doing his New Japan stint, and then AEW came, and it just kind of dissipated. But looking of all the guys that are already booked that are not booked, I would think he could be a really good possibility.
I think this guy's injured, and I don't know if he has any history with Jericho. Maybe you know, Shep, but how about Naito?
Oh?
I don't know if he's still injured or not, but he's a big New Japan name that's not on this card.
Yeah. I don't know. He might be injured, actually.
Yeah.
So
I know he was at one time. So
I hope it's somebody like either if Naito's available, if he's not injured, or like I said, I think Evil would be one.
Majin says it's going to be him. So, all right.
All right. You better help him win, Majin.
I hope it's not like a Lance Archer.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I think it's got to be
It's got to be a New Japan guy.
Right.
Although I think Lance Archer works more for New Japan right now than he does AEW, but
He was on Twitter. He wants a match against either Punk or Andrade. Andrade said he'll fight him on whenever he wants, and Archer said, "How about Collision?" So Archer's trying to work his way back on television.
he just doesn't do much for me.
No,
But
they haven't used them right, in my opinion. So
All right. Next, we go backstage to Adam Page, the Bucks, and Kenny Omega. And Adam Page said him and the Young Bucks accept the challenge. Kenny Omega said they found a friend to team with the Bucks and Page. Eddie Kingston showed up and said he doesn't respect the Elite, but he hates Claudio more. Eddie will team with them, but the fifth person will be somebody he wants. Eddie doesn't trust this person, but he trusts them more than the Elite. Dun, dun,
this
dun.
was wild. That's the last person I thought they would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is different. This is now the end of the show kind of put it all together, but I never thought we would see the Bucks and Eddie Kingston facing each other or tagging with each other.
it kind of makes sense with the end of last week's Dynamite too, with when Kingston returned and got involved in that segment. And for everybody who doesn't already know, this whole thing was pre-taped. The Bucks were not live in Chicago tonight.
No,
the whole Elite was not.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston showed up in a different shirt later on.
And then that was a Tony Khan decision weeks ago. It was not any fallout from the Punk's promo and Collision. I don't blame Tony. He doesn't want to take the chance on a Dynamite or Collision to have all those guys in the same building. Now, come Sunday, they're going to be. But Punk will probably be on his bus until match time. So,
Yep. All right. In the ring, it's story time with Adam Cole, baby. And he said MJF gave him the match of his career. He called MJF to the ring to talk about a rematch. MJF said he will not give Cole a rematch. Shivani interrupts them, which they both turn and yell, "Shut up, Shivani," at the same time. Loved that. I kind of wondered if what we saw earlier in the night did involve these two, especially when Shivani got involved. And that is, Shivani said earlier, the two names picked for the blind tag team battle royal were Cole and MJF. So they will be partners.
Is it a battle royal or a tournament?
Tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, the bracket's going to be announced next week.
Yeah. My notes said battle royal, so sorry.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's tournament. It's blind tag tournament. It's called
Eliminator.
What do you guys think about this? Bringing back the old WCW lethal lottery rules. What do you guys think?
Look, as long as TK doesn't start going down the same direction that we've seen with WCW, I think we'll be fine. Adding a few things from the history, I have no problem with that.
As long as we don't get Mrs. Beretta on a pole match,
Oh, God.
I'm okay with this. I think the main story would be building the feud between Adam Cole and MJF. So hopefully it's just going to extend their storyline and build them, and then maybe we get a sleeper tag team to come out and have a match with FTR, and it's a good match.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm looking to get out of this, because putting random wrestlers together that have no chemistry, have no storyline going on, like if you put a Dustin Rhodes with a Powerhouse Hobbs, which I know we're getting them in the Owen Hart thing, but if you put them as a tag team, like those guys have nothing together. They've never worked together. They've never had anything in common. I don't know. So if it's done right, it'll be okay.
Yeah, I agree. I'll have to see next week how it develops. But
yeah.
But we also saw Ace Tanahashi.
Yes, I was just getting ready to hit there.
Okay.
Tanahashi appeared on the Titantron, called MJF a coward, dared MJF to show up at Forbidden Door. Cole said by MJF not accepting Tanahashi's challenge, that means Tanahashi is better than him. MJF said that's not true, so he accepted the match with Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. I love how 2 weeks in a row, not 2 weeks in a row, but 2 promos in a row, we've seen Adam Cole outsmart MJF.
Yes. Yep. Nobody gets over on MJF with the mind games, but Adam Cole's finding a way to do it.
Yes, he is, and I love it.
Shep, you mentioned the Owen Hart Cup. I got the bracket here. So in the men's bracket, we're going to get CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima, I believe is how you pronounce his name.
Kojima.
That's going to be Sunday at Forbidden Door. And then the winner of that will take on the winner of Roderick Strong, Samoa Joe at Collision. That match will take place Collision on June 29th. I'm predicting we'll get Samoa Joe and CM Punk. Also on Collision on June 29th, we'll get Dustin Rhodes against Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm predicting Hobbs win that. And then we're getting Juice Robinson versus Ricky Starks also on Collision. I'm predicting Ricky Starks will win that. I like this bracket, but what makes me mad, Owen Hart is Canadian. This tournament's taking place in Canada. No Canadians in the bracket.
Nope.
Why not Ethan Page?
Because he's already in a storyline.
Yeah, all due respect to Dustin Rhodes, but Ethan Page could take his spot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that's what Majin's saying. He has, he's got one problem with the brackets. I'm guessing he's going to say something similar to being a Canadian. So it just doesn't feel right with me. I mean,
no.
Then on the women's brackets, or I guess, who do you guys like winning the men's bracket? I should ask. Do you think it's Punk's to lose?
Yeah, I'm going Hobbs.
So do you think Punk would get to the finals against Hobbs? A rematch from Grand Slam 2 years ago?
No.
No, it's Samoa Joe versus Hobbs.
And Samoa Joe lost to Adam Cole in the finals last year.
It's Samoa Joe versus Hobbs. Samoa Joe will be my pick, and it'll further the feud we've been rumoring to have CM Punk first singles feud to go with Samoa.
Joe. I could see that. Part of me wants to take Ricky Starks because I really think they need to push him again real hard. But I think it's either going to be him or Hobbs. I'm kind of feeling going to come out on this. I think it's going to be a younger talent. The women's side's interesting. We're getting Billy Starks and Athena this Sunday at Forbidden Door. And then we're getting Collision this Saturday, Nyla Rose and Willow Nightingale. And then we're getting Dynamite next week, Ruby Soho against Dr. Britt Baker. And this Friday, Rampage, we're getting Anna Jay against Sky Blue.
I like Athena out of this whole.
I like Sky Blue.
I'm gonna agree with both of you because I could see either one of them. I mean, they're both good talents. They're both getting great pushes right now, so either one of them could go.
I think it's time to push Athena back to the. I don't want to call it the main roster because
the non-streaming show.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Because I think Athena in the women's division, which I've been pretty outspoken with, I think we need a lot of help in the women's division. And I really like the aggression, the physicalness that she brings. And I think she's a hell of an athlete and a hell of a worker. So that's my pick.
I agree with Majin here. I think it will be Athena versus Sky Blue in the finals. I mean, Willow's already got the New Japan Strong title. I don't see Nyla beating her. And Sky Blue's getting a push. I mean, she went over in that 4-way match on Rampage a few weeks ago to get a shot at the AEW Women's Championship. The crowd really likes her. So
I know we got a Toni Storm versus Willow match.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to see Mercedes Moné show up. I know she's injured, but she can still make an appearance. I'd love her to show up and get in Athena's face.
I'm 99% sure that was supposed to be her spot because she was supposed to beat Willow and have that championship. And I'm pretty sure she was going to be on Forbidden Door. And luckily, so far, I don't want to jinx anything this week, and so far, that's really the only big injury. Because you remember last year, they had to shift so many things around because injuries blew up this show last year. And it was still a solid show. But I'm excited for the Owen Hart tournament, but I just think a Canadian should have been in it. That's my one gripe.
Now, I do have to correct you on something you said, Tanner. You said the crowd really likes Sky Blue.
Yeah.
You got to get it right. The crowd really likes Sky Blue's assets.
That's fair. And she's from Chicago. We've been in Chicago.
Isn't this a PG show, Paul?
We're borderline explicit again here. No, not yet. But I don't think it's coincidence that
Didn't get us there.
I don't think it's coincidence that what's the guy's name from Aussie Open?
She's with the
gosh dang it, what's his name?
Tag team.
Yeah, he's part of Aussie Open, and they didn't come public with that until after she started getting the notoriety the other day on Twitter. So,
yeah, and the best part is if you do follow her on Twitter, she has been playing along with it.
Yeah.
If you like that, you should check out the OnlyFans.
Yeah, she's promoting. She's trying to get that bag.
Yeah.
Respect the hustle.
OnlyFans. Why didn't I think of OnlyFans? Some dude was sitting during the pandemic going, man, what are all these girls going to do? I'm going to create a website and I'm going to take a percentage and I'm going to sit back on an island in the Bahamas and drink pina coladas.
And actually, Chef, it started prior to the pandemic.
Oh.
It used to be for other things like story writing and song lyrics.
Even
and things like
podcasting.
that. Yes. And then the pandemic happened and the girls took over.
And now we have podcasts about OnlyFans, such as Glenny Balls from Barstool Sports with Only Stands.
Yes.
That blows my mind.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. There you go.
For everybody listening, I keep flashing my going down a rabbit hole shirt because that's the theme tonight.
Yes.
That's about normal.
Yeah.
I mean, we're an hour in and we haven't got to the main event yet.
Right? See why I said let's do predictions another night?
Yes.
I knew what was going to happen tonight. I just felt it.
Although
Anyway.
I have my 10, 9, and 8 pick already circled. Just let you guys know.
Okay.
They're in my mind.
I have nothing wrote down because I totally forgot that it was Sunday because I have been so slammed at work all week.
Majin said pandemic happened, all the perverts took over.
Yes, they did.
A lot of time on their hands.
Say that again.
Yeah.
I mean, you cut out.
Oh, Majin said the pandemic happened, all the perverts took over.
Yeah, they had a lot of.
What else are they gonna do? They couldn't leave their house. They couldn't go to the titty shakes. They couldn't. I'm sorry.
All right.
You got to call them strip clubs now, right? Or gentlemen's club. I call them titty shakes.
Yeah, I like that better.
Yeah, they couldn't go.
Milkshakes.
Well,
anyway,
bringing all the boys to the yard.
Yeah, they definitely had a lot of time on their hand.
I mean, them
I wasn't going to go there, but
girls,
Shep already started, so
them working girls were, they were in quarantine, so all they had was their iPhone and a little neon tube light, and they made bucks.
Yeah, respect the hustle.
They could manage a target better than the Bucks.
The counterfeit Bucks.
Oh man, I love how we're picking on OnlyFans and the perverts, and Cody's favorite sister does those type of things. Guys, come on.
True.
Cody's got a sister on OnlyFans.
It's I don't even know her first name. There's a porn star with the last name Rhodes, and when Cody was on Logan Paul's podcast, he brought it up, and the one guy who asked him forgot that the other guy over there was that chick's ex, and it got kind of weird for a few minutes.
Yeah,
Cody was really confused. Was really confused.
OnlyFans. We should have a. We'll have a. Wasn't Ty Mello on OnlyFans before she was pregnant?
Yeah. There's quite a few. Jordan Grace makes over $1 million for OnlyFans.
Jordan Grace?
Yes. Yep.
She could suplex me.
I know.
Shep, you're in the wrong
business. So respect the hustle. I'm going to keep saying. I sound like John Cena, Mark, tonight. Hustle, loyalty, respect.
Yeah, I know. Like I didn't know there was that many women in professional wrestling in there.
There's quite a few.
But if you think about it, look how much money Playboy made off of China.
Well, China, Sable,
money.
Tori Wilson, Christy Hemme, Candice Michelle,
and that was before OnlyFans because that's back then we had the dial-up of beep, 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 and the thumbnails loaded like this. That's all we had back then. So we bought the magazine,
or found someone old enough to buy it for us.
There we go. The old newsstand in Rochester carried the old Playboys.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What a rabbit hole. That's a classic.
All right. Shall we climb out of the rabbit hole and back onto Dynamite?
I suppose we better talk about some grappling that happened during this match.
Some grappling?
Mm-hmm.
So you're referring to the Orange Cassidy, Shibata versus Sabre Jr. Garcia match.
And I love that Sabre just blew off Garcia on the entrance walk.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Fantastic. Cassidy gave Zach a DDT. Garcia hit Cassidy and Shibata kicks. Shibata got Garcia in a sleeper hold. Sabre came in to break it up, but was met by a kick by Shibata. Cassidy went for a Superman punch on Garcia, but Garcia ducked, and the punch landed on Shibata. At the end of the match, we see, just lost my spot. There it is. Garcia rolled up Shibata for the pin. After the match, Garcia held up Cassidy's belt. Sabre tried to take it from him. Shibata then touched the belt. Cassidy tried to take the belt from them, but they held off to it. Garcia and Sabre let go, left the ring. Cassidy yanks the belt away from Shibata. And it was announced that these four will compete for the AEW National United States holding belt.
This and I know this card's stacked. Great matches. Few dream matches. This match could steal the show.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this match could steal the show. This is going to be a tough one to predict, I think.
It will be.
I was surprised by tonight's result. But I know Orange is 15-0 in singles, so this doesn't hurt a singles record this year, but we just don't see Orange lose very much, even if it's in a team-oriented match. So, a little surprising.
Because he's going to drop the belt sooner than later.
I know. I was telling Shep, Paul, even though Saturday's card's amazing and we're getting some dream matches and a lot of really good matches, this four-way for the international title could steal the show.
It could. I'm not going to talk about it because I think I'll give away my prediction.
Fair.
But I used to. I hated him when he came in. Hate's a strong word. I disliked this guy when he came into AEW, and he kind of wore me down. Where all right, I like this guy, but now with his, I can't stand Daniel Garcia. I don't like him.
I'm right there with you.
I don't like this new.
I didn't like him when he came in with 2.0.
Yeah. Well,
I like
2.0 made him. 2.0 is entertaining. Daniel Garcia is not entertaining. Not saying he's not a good worker in the ring. He is not entertaining besides that.
Well, it's amazing. His record's almost 500 in the company. Yeah. I mean, this is a dude that main event more matches on Dynamite last year than anybody else. But he just doesn't seem to win a lot. He got the win tonight for his team. But I'm with you. He's very skilled, but I just don't like his character. And maybe I'm not supposed to because he's heel, but I don't find him entertaining at all. All he's got going for him right now is his dancing.
Which reminds me a lot of Val Venus.
Oh, boy.
Dude, Val Venus was 47. No. Hold on. 69 times more entertaining than Daniel Garcia. We're talking about Val Venus for crying out loud.
I'm just saying it's like Garcia's trying to do Val's dance. And he can't.
He can't.
So it looks terrible.
He can't dance so bad that it makes you. It reminds you of Val Venus because the dance isn't anything close to that. But I see where you're coming from. He's that bad.
Yeah.
Again, 69 times worse.
Hello, ladies.
You know what? You
just throw the E on now, Tanner, because it's gonna get there.
No. I mean, saying that is not explicit, but
no.
Although I just said that again, and I got two little chuckles out of you. You remind me of a couple of my friends that I can just say the word 69 or the number 69. They just sit there and chuckle. I always do it on the golf course right before they tee off because I just love getting a chuckle out of them. So obviously, I can do that with you guys too.
Yeah.
What's maturity, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
When you get to be 69 years old, you can be mature.
See, I'm chuckling. Cheap pop.
Yeah. All right. So backstage, Alex Marvez has been trying to get the biggest scoop on Forbidden Door that anybody's ever heard. And he turns around and he's talking to Will Ospreay. I mean, really? He's like, oh, he's finally here.
Yeah. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, and it made no sense for Will to be there. He didn't have Kenny to interact with, none of that stuff. But Don Callis told Ospreay that Kenny Omega has been inciting his fan base to violence and that he needs special security. Callis says he has his own military private security and he will make them available to him. Ospreay asked what he wanted from this. Callis said he just wants to see a fair fight.
Yeah, Ospreay looked a little confused.
Yeah, it made 0 sense.
But I'm with Shep. I think Callis has got to get involved or have somebody get involved, and I don't want that. I want this to be a fair one-on-one fight.
That's what Don wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Don's never liked us a day in our lives.
I can also see Ospreay in the match if Don comes down. I can see Ospreay telling him to get out, maybe bumping him up the ramp and say, I can do this on my own type deal. I can see Ospreay doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel in New Japan, I almost feel like he could be a face. You know, coming over here, I know he'll be technically the heel because he's been making fun of Canada all week on social media, and obviously he's going against Omega. But
it'll be interesting if he does join the family, because Callis is hinting to add more people. So
yeah, but I don't, why he's with Aussie Open, and I like those. I like that trio right there. Mm-hmm. I really do. What's the initials they go by? I was going to say MDK, but
United Kingdom.
United Kingdom.
Yeah.
I was going to say MDK, but I'm like, that's the complete opposite.
That's Nick Gage.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to see that. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I just want to see another classic out of these two guys. So
I think we're going to get it. They're going to try.
Yeah.
All right,
Paul.
We ready for the main event?
No. Oh, yeah, this is the main event, technically.
Yeah, nice try. Ha, ha, ha. I tried to give the women the cool factor of being the main event match of the night. And Mr. We never see the women main event. It's not calling it.
You're right. And I really liked this match tonight. I thought it was a strong style women's match, and I thought both women were awesome.
I think
that match. Go ahead, Shep.
I think these two women are in the top 4 of overall performers in our women's division.
They're really good.
And this is the type of matches we need to see out of our women's division to elevate them. Nothing against the 69-pounder little Japanese girls. Against Nyla Rose. It doesn't work.
She was 91 pounds.
I know. I just want to make you guys chuckle.
Almost. I held strong.
But these two ladies are hellacious performers. They're hellacious workers. And this is the type of matches we need to see in our women's division.
Majin said Statlander showed the hell out. She sure did. She's been awesome since she's returned.
She's a unbelievable athlete.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
And I would like to go on record again, just saying that I told you this was going to happen when she came back.
You did for a long time. So kudos to you.
I don't know. I had that feeling because they were starting to push her when she got injured. I figured they'd pick right back up.
Nice.
Yeah. She's had a lot of injuries, but
I'm glad they've kept her away from because wasn't she in there with the best friends?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of glad they've got away from that.
Yeah.
She's on her own.
They've done things backstage together, but that's about it.
Well, it's kind of like Orange. Orange just kind of got away from them a little bit. You know that they're bigger than that. Nothing against Trent and Chuck, but those two are bigger than that group.
Yeah.
Yes. But chaos is the new thing now. Don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
Of the best friends.
Majin said, I know there's people who don't like her, but you have a potential heavy hitter in Abaddon who's shown improvement to use her. I would like to see her on TV more.
Oh, absolutely. Her
Yeah.
character's fantastic. She's a good worker. Just won a belt, too, on the indies.
She's been getting those reps in. She's in a lot of the dark matches, the actual dark matches they have now that aren't televised. So,
Yeah. But yeah, we saw the TBS Championship match as our main event tonight. If you hadn't picked up on it yet, it was Chris Statlander defending against Taya Valkyrie. Statlander picks up the victory after hitting Wednesday Night Fever.
That's a cool name. That's a cool finishing name.
I like that better than anything else they've called it.
Yeah, I feel like her move, the name of her finisher's changed quite a bit.
Yes, it has. When she came back, it was the Tombstone Pile Driver.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. So after this, we go to a commercial break, come back. Kingston is in the ring. He is only teaming, and he says he's only teaming with the Elite because he hates Claudio Castagnoli. He didn't call him Castagnoli, but we'll say it's Castagnoli. John Moxley comes out, gets in the ring. Kingston told Moxley he drew the line when he started teaming with Claudio. Moxley started to tell him every time, but he would not finish it. Eddie told him to finish it, but Moxley wouldn't say it. Kingston said the fifth member of his team is Ishii. Ishii came down the aisle. Claudio, Danielson, and Yuta jumped Kingston and Ishii. Claudio and Kingston fought outside the ring. Danielson challenged Okada to come out and threatened to stomp Ishii's face if he didn't. Okada came to the ring. Everybody left the ring. Okada and Danielson had a stare down. Yuta attacked Okada from behind. Yuta held Okada up. Danielson charged at Okada with a running knee, but Okada escaped just in time, and Danielson hits Yuta. Okada went for the Rainmaker on Danielson, but Danielson ducked out of the way and got out of the ring. Okada delivered a Rainmaker to Yuta to end the show.
Chaos. Now, one thing that your little story didn't
Hit on
there, that was the word I'm thinking of, is I love we get in the ring and Eddie's got a tank top on or a cutoff, and he says, hold on a second, I got to put on a shirt. I just had surgery. I ate a lot of ice cream. and Eddie's always had a little belly on him, right? And did you notice the shirt he put on?
I did not.
It was a funk shirt, wasn't it?
It was.
That's his face. It's the GOAT in his opinion. The GOAT.
In his mind, it is the GOAT. But I think it's called the Double Arrow Ranch. What's it called that he called?
Funk's Ranch. I'll look it up.
It's Double Broken Arrow or whatever. Anyways, that was the shirt he put on. I thought that was great. That just shows you that
Double Cross Ranch,
sorry.
Canyon, Texas.
And I just think that shows you that Eddie Kingston is a normal guy. I think Eddie Kingston, if you met Eddie Kingston tonight at, here it is, 11:40 Eastern Standard Time, and if you sat next to Eddie Kingston at the local tavern and had a cocktail with him, I think it'd be the same Eddie Kingston we saw in the ring tonight.
100%. I think when he was jawing with Moxley, that's Eddie. I mean, you can see in his eyes, he brings it.
So,
yep.
Well,
Did you?
One of the guys that leading up to AEW, I saw him on NWA.
Yep, me too.
He made a few appearances there before AEW, and I'm like, man, this guy's a little over the top, a little intense. And I used to be a pretty loyal watcher to the NWA on their 605 show. I think it was on Tuesdays, right? And I kind of liked him. And then he got into AEW and the whole mock stuff. It's just like he's a normal day guy walking down the street, puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like y'all. And I can relate to him. He's really, really sold me and got me hooked on his character.
Eddie last week was wearing a Lois Rules shirt, which is from a Shivani, one of Shivani's from Shivani's What Happened When podcast with Conrad Thompson. That's from that store. So I thought that was pretty cool too, because Shivani, he and Conrad watched an old New Japan. I think it's from like 1989 or 89 or something. Old match this week, and Eddie Kingston watches it with them. It's a watch along. It's pretty entertaining, and you can tell Shivani and Kingston love each other. It's pretty cool. But you were talking about Shivani. I am mixed. Thoughts and words aren't working here. You were talking about Kingston debuting in AEW. I know Cody Rhodes gets a lot of slack for things he did in AEW. That's one thing I thought he did great, was the first time when he won the TNT title, he did that TNT Open Challenge. Got talents like Ricky Starks in, Eddie Kingston in, and a lot of talents, Warhorse, even though he didn't get signed. A lot of talents we wouldn't have seen there, especially during the pandemic, got him in. And now look at Starks and Kingston. They're two big pieces of the company. So
Warhorse. I saw
Warhorse,
him in South Bend.
Yeah, with Warrior. Yeah.
That dude's intense.
I guess he did make the best impression backstage at AEW. I don't know the details, but yeah. So, but no, I enjoyed the closing segment tonight. I thought it was good. Sets up more for Sunday, and I love when we hear that coin drop, Okada's theme, and he was loving it tonight. He had a big grin on his face when the crowd was chanting his name. So that Rainmaker's fun.
Now, let me ask you this. For weeks, we've been hearing Danielson put Yuta down. He basically sacrificed Yuta tonight. How long until Yuta is kicked out of the BCC because he can't win a match?
The seeds are definitely there. They're being planted. But I will say Yuta just got two big victories for them not too long ago, too, though.
Yeah.
But since then, it's kind of reversed.
You're saying kick them out and officially bring in Takeshita, right? Is what you're thinking?
Yep.
Well, I kind of like that, except the more Callis is speaking about his family, I'm thinking the BCC and Elite might be almost done with their feud, and then we get whatever Callis' new family in the Elite going forward. Maybe there's your blood and guts eventually.
You know what? I'm okay with that. I've seen enough beat.
We've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of it.
I'd be okay with that.
Major said, Yuta trying to attack Okada. Yuta, you're not that guy.
No, he's not. He tried. He gets an A for effort.
It's like a monkey. Never mind. I don't want to get explicit.
Yeah, we're close. We've been pretty close tonight.
Nah.
I'm glad you didn't read Majin's one comment. That would have gotten us there.
It's up there, so I might have to put it on anyways. That's all right. Hey, our audience can say whatever they want.
Exactly. We welcome it. You can even fuel our rabbit holes. It's okay.
That never happens.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I know we are saving our predictions for Saturday night. Now, I will not be on the pod Saturday. I got some prior scheduled engagements that I can't
Is it your bachelor party?
Something like that. So I guess I could always record, but I might not be making a lot of sense.
Ooh, wait a minute. Now, this could get interesting because usually on Saturdays I like to start a little earlier in the day because I don't have to work as late. I'm just saying. Unless you're at a.
I have no idea where I'm going to be at 10 p.m. come Saturday night. So.
What town are they taking you? Do you at least know that?
Yeah, we're going to Lafayette / West Lafayette.
Oh, I don't know I know the Neon Cactus. I went there once.
Yeah, and it's of course, with being summer, the students won't be around, so I don't know. You never know. Maybe I'll make an appearance, but if I don't, these two guys are holding down the fort. We're gonna do our Forbidden Door predictions Saturday night live after Collision. And even if I'm not on, the KOP predictions champion, as Big Gold says right here, will have his picks and confident points in. So
Well, the
Hey
good
Shep,
thing,
when you were champion, did you ever miss a prediction show?
nope, sure
I
didn't.
haven't either. He's missed two.
Sure didn't. Which I mean, that's fine. We'll take it off of him. You know, it looks like it hurts his shoulder. He might tear a rotator cuff or something. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, a drug. I agree with that. Um, I mean, I'll be honest. We've seen a drunk Shep on this show. We might as well see a drunk Santa.
I better get my picks in before. But hey, maybe I'll make an appearance. No promises, but it could happen.
Yeah,
Now, if he sends me 10, because that's what we currently have, and they announce 3 more matches, he doesn't get to partake in those.
I'm gonna have to try to follow Twitter, huh?
yeah. I mean, I don't. I mean, I know AEW is good for the 4-hour pay-per-views. I don't know what else they could add that wouldn't be on like a pre-show, maybe.
And I think the one women's match.
Athena Billy Starks.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that is on the pre-show.
It's announced, so I don't mind picking it.
Right.
But if they announce something, you know, I always love if you watch Wrestle Kingdom, they always have a battle royal that's never announced, and it has a bunch of special appearances. You know, and then they have the Young Lion match. You know, that's just kind of their thing. So you're gonna have 2 to 3 matches. I can see an ROH match, you know, coming on, but
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting, but looking forward to it. It's going to be a great card. Before we get into our rating and wrestler night, which match are you looking most forward to for Sunday, since I might not be able to ask you that on Saturday?
I mean, obviously, there's actually a couple. Like, obviously, I want to see Omega Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if after Wrestle Kingdom back in January, here we are in June. I started following more of Ospreay's stuff. I've seen some of his independent stuff before that on GCW. He had a great match with Nick Wayne, a great match in a dive bar in Detroit, I think it was.
Nick's coming soon, too.
Yeah, Nick's coming July 10th, I think.
That sounds right, yeah.
I think it's July 10th. But anyways, so I started listening to some podcasts with Ospreay, and I mean, I really, really enjoy that individual. And so, yeah, obviously Omega Ospreay, I'm pumped about. I'm pumped about CM Punk and Kojima. I mean, at one point in time, Kojima was labeled one of the greatest wrestlers of the 21st century. I'm kind of excited to think who Sting and Darby's going to bring. So yeah, those two. Now, one thing that you're going to say, what about MJF and Tanahashi? I hope, and I don't want to sound negative, I hope MJF can keep up.
I think he will. I think it's going to be a good match, and I don't care if I give my prediction away. I think that's so predictable, that match, the result. It's like last year's was.
But I hope, I know Tanahashi, we all know Tanahashi can go.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him. You know, when MJF came back and had some matches, you know, the pro wrestling community said, dude, that dude is green. He needs a lot more work. They didn't call it ring rust. They called it he was green. So, and I almost thought the Great Muta too, but he had his retirement match, so I don't see him coming back.
He crossed my mind as well.
Yeah. I feel like he's old school enough where he had his last match with Sting and Darby at Pro Wrestling Noah, which I watched, which was a great show. I don't see him reneging on that and coming back.
Now, I'm going to ask Majin here because he would probably know more than any of us, still trying to think who Steen and Darby's potential partner could be. Is there anybody, especially from Canada, that Jericho had a history with in New Japan?
Oh. While we're waiting, by the way, you forgot another women's match: Tony Storm, Willow Nightingale.
Yes, that's on the main card, right?
It was on the main card, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a Canadian he has history with, but I don't think it was in New Japan by any means. It was ECW, I believe. Lance Storm.
Yeah, and
But I don't think.
Lance is pretty much done. And
isn't he involved with Impact anyways? And he worked backstage for Impact.
Yeah, I thought Lance was just running his school.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, Jericho's first match ever was against Lance Storm.
You're right.
In a Moose Lodge in Canada.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got that book of Jericho back here somewhere on my bookshelf that has like all his matches up till some point in 2021. Pretty crazy.
Right.
So
you should know if he has any history.
I read it a long time ago, so
Slacker.
I've slept since then. Maji's gonna let us know tomorrow or so on Twitter. So there we go.
Thank you much, sir.
But yeah, I'm looking. I think Osprey Omega is the big one I'm looking forward to. I know that's a cop out answer, but that's this type of style. The type of style of wrestling I enjoy the most is what they do. Athletic.
I'm looking forward to the Osprey Omega match, but I'm also looking forward to Danielson Okada.
That's the dream. That's a dream match there. Didn't need any build up. They gave us a little, but didn't need any.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, I did love that Tanahashi had a hard time saying MJF.
Yes, he did.
Over in Japan when he was trying to cut a little vignette. He called him every letter in the alphabet.
He's so genuine, that guy. And MJF made me laugh tonight more than he has in a long time. I just thought he was hilarious tonight. I don't know. That guy cracks me up.
All right, boys. Let's give our rating for tonight's show.
Who's going first?
Tanner.
Ooh, Tanner's going first.
Sorry, Shep.
I think I gave this last week like an 8.8. It was one of my favorite Dynamites of the year. I thought tonight's was good. It went by really, really fast. I was surprised the 2 hours flew by. Felt like the go-home show for Forbidden Door, even though we're getting Collision on Saturday, which we didn't even go over that card. Swerve and Tanahashi, oh my God. It's going to be awesome Saturday nights. And Andrade and Brody. I'm going 7-9 tonight.
All right. Shep?
6.9.
That was predictable. I'm going to have to make some kind of shirt, aren't I, for the store?
Good show. Like we said before, I felt like it was a go-home show for Forbidden Door. I didn't like the popcorn match. The what do you call it?
Concession stands. I didn't either.
That didn't do much for me. I thought the end of that match was just shit. The best match of the night either had to be the start of the show or the end of the show. So again, honestly, I'm being a smart ass by giving a 6.9. If I had to be realistic, I thought the show was in the low 7s. Was okay. It had the possibility of being a really darn good show if we would just fine tune some things, especially heading into Forbidden Door. But there's so much stuff going on now because now we got an hour show Friday night starting at 10 o'clock, and then we got a 2-hour show Saturday. But yet we pretty much got our card set for Forbidden Door. So what are we going to do with these next 3 hours of television?
Advanced stories for next week's programming.
Yep.
But they're supposed to do that and forget about Forbidden Door. I don't know. I have a hard time with that. That's why initially when I sent you guys a text at 8:30 going, you know what? We're going to get a couple matches tonight, but yet Collision is going to be live from Toronto. They're really gonna hammer home some stuff there.
Sure.
So that was the reason I texted you guys. Not that because I wasn't prepared. I was half-ass prepared.
I was not.
I was more than Paul. I thought, well, let's just go live after Collision. We'll have the full card, but then all of a sudden, about 9:40, Tanner texts like, "We got a full card." Like, all right, we do.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. The Collision card, even though I think it's going to be awesome, a lot of those featured talents aren't on the Forbidden Door card.
Yeah.
So that's why I think they're just going to extend the Collision storylines. Andrade Brody, we're going to extend that trios feud. Tanahashi and Swerve, that's just a one-off. Going to be a fun match. FTR and the Guns and Bullet Club Gold, they're not a part of Forbidden Door. Going to build some stuff there. Got to think Christian Cage and Luchasaurus aren't part of Forbidden Door. So, to your point, Shep, not as much build there on Saturday. Maybe that's going to be the format going forward. Maybe your go-home shows for your pay-per-views are going to be more Wednesday night Dynamites and
I think
not
Saturdays.
But they got to fine-tune things. They're going to figure out the rhythm.
Well, I think right now Dynamite's still your
flagship
show. Yeah. So you're going to promote things. But you got 3 tag team titles, and not one of them are on Forbidden Door. So we might get that Collision. We really might get that.
Good.
I mean, and after the contract signed, I mean, why not have FTR going back for those titles?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I'm a Mark and a fan, but they should hold those titles. They should hold the AAA titles. They should hold all the titles. The Ring of Honor titles. They should hold them all. In fact, they should go back to Stamford, Connecticut and steal those stupid freaking titles. Even though I like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they should still have those 2. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm at a 7-3 tonight. Wasn't my favorite Dynamite. Could be worse. I've seen worse. We've seen worse. But yeah, I don't know. It was fast. It seemed off, and I know we're building for a pay-per-view, but it's way too many cutscenes for me.
Fair enough.
All right, let's do our favorite wrestler of the night.
Same order, or are you switching it up on me?
Shep's going first.
I had a feeling.
I'm going first. I'm going Chris Statlander.
That's why I wanted to go first.
I mean,
you just took everybody's wrestler of the night.
I mean, literally, they need to build the division around her. I mean, she's good. She's really good. And out of all 3 companies, and I'm talking about Stamford, Connecticut, and Impact, I feel that AEW is probably at the bottom on those. And that's a division they need to improve on, and they can do it with putting a rocket to her and pushing her. And there's some other girls that need to step up, aka Dr. Britt Baker. I like she's had some good matches. We need Thunder Rosa back. We need her 100% to do what she can do. So there's some possibilities there.
Need Jamie Hayter back.
Yeah,
need Jade back as a babyface.
And if you get Mercedes to come and make a couple appearances, there's some possibilities there to really elevate the women's division, and it needs it right now.
Yeah. Paul, you go next. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go Adam Cole. Good solid promo again tonight. Got the one up on MJF again. So, yeah, I'll go with Adam Cole just for a good promo.
I'm going with a tag team. I'm breaking the rules, but we make the rules here. I'm going with the Guns. Big win for the boys tonight. A win over FTR and now a win over the Hardys. Getting some on that checklist there. And one thing I meant to mention, I forgot. We are going to see Jeff Hardy take a little hiatus from AEW with his recent DUI and stuff. He's not allowed in Canada.
Yeah.
So he's going to be taking a break for a little while because their Canadian tour is going to last the next month or so. Yeah. I mean, they could have him shoot. They could have him shoot some stuff. some tape and still be on.
Right.
But as far as in the match, we won't see him for a little over a month.
No,
Which maybe he kind of needs it.
Yeah. Honestly, keep Matt off TV too. Work up maybe the broken gimmick a little more and bring him back that way.
I'm fine with them having Matt if they keep doing the Matt Ethan Page stuff. Further that along a little bit.
Doing it.
Yeah, they better.
Yeah, but Matt, with his age and the way his body is, giving him a couple weeks off. Like I thought tonight, he looked amazing.
This was his best performance.
Better
in a while,
than he's had in a long time. So I don't know if it hurts him to keep him off for a little bit. So
we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
And Tanner, I'll let you do that part. Have at it.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
Every time. It pops me every time. Mr. Cody Rhodes was in the main event overall this week, teaming with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against the why is their names escaping me? Judgment Day. There we go. Judgment Day. Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, with Rhea Ripley, of course. There.
he's the true star.
Oh, I think she's the biggest. I want to call her currently the biggest star in women's professional wrestling, but I don't. I think she's got the potential to be. I don't know if she is currently.
I don't follow the product enough. I know she hasn't been there for a while. The only other person that can give her a run for the money is Charlotte.
Right. Yeah.
So, and I know her and Charlotte have had 2 matches, both WrestleMania matches, right?
Yep. Yep. 1-1 each. Yep.
So, I mean, until you get somebody like Charlotte back there's nothing for her. Asuka, okay.
Yeah.
Asuka can do it. The size factor is a little different for me. But yeah.
Which Asuka is the champ right now on Raw.
And Rhea's SmackDown, right?
Even though Rhea's on Raw more than she is on SmackDown, seems like it's really confusing. The draft doesn't mean anything in the WWE, so that's why if AEW ever does a draft, I hope they stick to it. That's one thing that's annoying.
And if I remember correctly, the champions were on the wrong shows. So
there was that whole fiasco with Becky and Charlotte a few years ago where the belts got switched and it was just really confusing.
And we just debuted 2 new titles, so why do they have to be Raw and SmackDown exclusive?
Yep. Maja says you want to talk about size factor. Look at Trish getting ragdogged by Raquel.
Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah. No, good trios tag match out of these guys. We knew Cody, Sammy, and Kevin weren't going to lose, but good stuff. Crowd liked it. I will say, we're not the biggest fans of the WWE product, but they are having hot crowds wherever they go. They're close to selling out every show, wherever they go, whether it's a live event or a TV event. They're doing something right for their fans. Got to give them that.
And I think I sent you guys a text earlier. So they announced Fastlane October
7th.
Indianapolis. Obviously Pat McAfee's going to headline that as an announcer.
Yeah, Heyman announced that on his show. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So I had previously bought those tickets for WWE. So I got a pre-sale code. I hopped on there today. You can still sit front row, hard camera, so you can be on camera. You have to buy a package, and there's a bunch of stuff.
There's tons of stuff that goes with it.
Tons of stuff that comes with it, but WWE is charging $22.50 a seat if you want to sit front row at a pay. They call it a premium live event, but it'd be a pay-per-view, won't it?
That's what they call their pay-per-views now. Premium live events.
All right, that shows you how much it follows.
That's a Nick Khan term.
But I'm going $22.50. Holy shit!
I know.
Man.
They said that same thing at Mania is at least $20K.
But here's the other thing you guys aren't thinking. I got the thing sent to me at 10 o'clock this morning. I maybe clicked on it at 11. So there's an hour go by. There was only there was only 2 front row seats left on the hard section. So the other 20 seats, somebody already paid $22.50 for them.
Yeah, it's
Jeez.
they are selling out where they go. I mean, they'll
Green shirt guy.
Yeah, probably. Brock Lesnar guy was at Collision.
Yeah.
Saw him on TV. But they'll have more reasonably priced tickets here probably. I think they go on sale on July 14th. I think.
14th. Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see about that. But good for Indianapolis. First pay-per-view or PLE they've had since 2016. But that says that AEW Full Gear is not going to Indianapolis. So
Yeah.
Hopefully we get the Dynamite in November.
Yep. So, or a Collision, I guess. Could be Collision. Well, Collision, I feel like, no, they're holding them in smaller venues. The United Center was kind of a one-off. I was going to say they'd have to hold that at Gamebridge, but no, not necessarily.
Or maybe we get them in Fort Wayne, too.
I would be all down for that.
Well, of course you would.
Yeah.
Or
You can come pick us up this time.
Okay. But good match out of Cody. I like seeing main events. For there's a feud with Dominic. It's going to be a fun one-off singles match. I think at Money in the Bank, I'd be shocked if Dominic went over in this one. But
I wouldn't put it past him.
No, I mean, we're going to get Cody Brock, SummerSlam. And I'm guessing they're building this story. They're building this story. They better be building this story for Cody for next year's Mania.
They better.
And then leading up to Mania, whether he wins the Rumble again, he won the Rumble, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he wins the Rumble again, and then from the time from the Rumble to Mania, they just have these vignettes or these video packages, that I think they call them, of him, of the whole year, him getting beat by Brock, beating Brock, getting beat here, and just clawing his way, claw. That's the only way they could make this work.
Yeah.
And I hope they're going to do that. So
I'm still a little nervous that they're going to put the other title on him eventually instead.
No,
It should be a big mistake.
SummerSlam, he's going to, let's just say he goes over Brock.
Right.
Our next big pay-per-view is Survivor Series.
Yep.
Put him in a true Survivor Series match with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline or whatever's going on at the time. And then make him number one entrance in the Rumble and make him win it from number one.
Do you guys think there's any chance that somebody dethrones Roman before him, say a Jey Uso?
No. No, I like what the Usos are doing. And by the way, I saw this, and this was a great idea, and I wish I would have thought of it first, but I can't do the credit. I saw it on one of the dirt sheets on Twitter. And I don't know their contract status, okay? I know they were maybe on their way out, but what if you brought God in to come after the Usos, and now you just have you literally have a true bloodline story for another 6 months if you could bring God in.
I think they're going to have to do something like that because I don't know who else you put in this feud.
I mean, well, what are we going to get? We're going to get Usos versus Roman and
Solo. That's at Money in the Bank next weekend.
I don't know what we got Roman for Survivor Series right now, but Brock and Cody are taken. So
don't even know what, or you mean SummerSlam?
I'm sorry, SummerSlam.
I think that'll be Jey against Roman.
And there'll be like 3 or 4 false finishes, outside interference, but Roman obviously did that.
Yeah, Majin brings up a good point. They were talking to Tama Tonga in January, then nothing went. Ever since Vince came back, they haven't hired anybody. So make that what you will.
That's because he's an idiot.
Yeah, yes, he is. Him and his Pedro Gomez. Gomez Help me out here, Paul. Adams family. Gomez
Adams?
Gomez Adams. God, it's past midnight here.
The Adams
Yeah,
family.
I kind of talked
Gomez
myself.
Adams?
Yeah. Pedro Gomez. That's a MLB analyst. Gomez Adams. Yeah, he's got that Gomez looking mustache.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Imagine says they've had chances at Tama and a few other Tongans and passed every time. It's clear they don't want them. Yeah, they're lost.
And I still don't understand how.
And Tama's back in New Japan right now doing some work. So.
And I don't understand how Jacob Fatu is still in MLW.
I don't know. Good for Corbauer. Sometimes he can hold on to some talents.
Yeah. No, you're right. But
I mean, they need him too. But I mean, I give that guy credit because that poor guy's lost a lot of good talents over the years. Which
I think he's the modern day ECW.
Yeah, money talks. So
yeah,
Brent Lauderdale wants to be the modern day ECW.
He's trying, and you know what? I like Brent. He came out on Twitter the other day, and somebody was bitching because Oliver. Who's the current GCW champion? He just got it.
I got you.
Jordan Oliver, right?
Sounds.
Or is it Blake Christian?
I'm looking it up for you. If my keyboard wants to work.
I can't. I get them confused. Honestly, I used to watch it almost every weekend, and I have not watched them in a while.
Blake Christian. Just won on June 4th.
So he's the current GCW champion, and he was booked for a show at GCW, but Tony Khan pulled the card and said, "Hey, I need you for an ROH taping," which he's been working a lot for ROH. And so he came out on Twitter and said, "Look, he is contracted through ROH. He is my champion, but I have to let him do this." So it's unfortunate. Like, that's something Paul Heyman would come out and say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Paul Heyman didn't have Twitter back in the day. If he did, he would have been banned in like 30 seconds. But
oh my God, yeah.
I thought it was really good that Lauderdale came out and said that. Like, look, that he's contracted. I can't. It's my choice to put the championship on him, but he's contracted. So unfortunately, this happened. So we'll move on.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like the transparency there. I really think that guy is trying really hard. Some of his stuff is getting, and it was back when he was in the CZW days. You know, some of his deathmatch stuff is getting a little much for me. But hey, it works for them. They do good on their venues. And they put on some really, really good shows, minus a match or two here or there.
Mm-hmm. And they're getting some big names.
They are. So. Yeah. I mean, Cardona has – I know him and Cardona have a kayfabe beef. But I think behind the ropes, him and Cardona have a great relationship, and Cardona has elevated GCW a lot.
Absolutely. And speaking of Cardona, I think Chelsea Green's been the best re-signee that Triple H made. Out of all those guys and gals.
She has this
Karen
thing going on.
And she plays it pretty well. So yeah. I never thought I'd say that with some other talents he re-signed, like Karrion Kross, who did go over AJ Styles recently. That was interesting. Braun Strowman, who's hurt, and some others. Braun's going to be out for a while. Braun had neck fusion surgery, so
yeah,
he'll be out for a long time.
Did I see Braun at a NASCAR race here last week?
Probably. Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, wouldn't shock me.
NASCAR's where those cars go around in a circle, Paul.
Yeah, I know that.
Some road course, they'll kind of go up and around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I follow IRL and NASCAR. I understand it. Sorry,
Yes.
I don't chase little white balls.
I do them. I follow both, so I'm an idiot.
Oh. All right, guys. Anything else we want to touch on before we get out of here?
I don't think so. Looking forward to Sunday.
I think we got a lot. We're going to take obviously tomorrow off, but we have a lot of AEW going to hit us in the face for the next 3 days: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Obviously, we're going to get the spoilers tomorrow morning. We got Rampage coming on Friday. I'll be first. I click on them.
I do too.
Morning, I read them.
I do too.
And that makes me decide if I want to stay up late
Yep.
and watch that. So
tomorrow I actually will be dropping. It'll be tomorrow night once I get the audio. But Tony Khan's having his pre-media call for Forbidden Door, like he always does, the Wednesdays or Thursdays before the pay-per-view. So I'll get the recording from that and look for that on the socials and wherever you listen to your podcast tomorrow sometime. So
Yep.
did you submit any questions?
I'll try to tomorrow. I've yet to ever get on, but if you guys have a good one, let me know.
Just say, I mean, do you think they read the questions and they decide it? So I think you should start the question was, hey, mother truckers, we're top 30 in Australia. You better freaking listen to us. Let's get some deep insights here. Like, let's get a little colorful with this.
It's funny. And Paul has done one for me one time when I couldn't. And more times the Sean Ross Sapps, the Nick Hausmans, the Dave Meltzers, those guys, the Wade Kellers, they get called on. But once in a while, there is a podcast about our size that will get called on or have a write-in. So I have seen it happen. I just have to have my dumb brain ask an intelligent enough question. So if you guys can think of anything, let me know.
Well, one of the big rumors coming out, and I think it's before the end of the year. I think Tony Schiavone's contract's coming up.
I think he hit on it not too long ago on his pod. I think it's next April.
Oh, so it's another.
He and JR are both next year sometime. Okay. But I would predict that Schiavone will stay around and JR won't.
JR needs to ride off in the sunset as much as big as a legend he is, maybe the greatest of all time.
Or some backstage role.
Yeah, I mean, obviously his mind is still there, and he could help talent. But
one last thing I'll say, I guess, and I tweeted this from our account, and I can't take credit for it because Conrad Thompson was saying it. I do like how they're doing JR with just the main events for Collision. I think that's cool. I wish they would, before cutting to commercial break for the main event, show JR coming out to the entrance, kind of like do like a Goldberg type thing. Just give it a big feel, like, and while the Oklahoma Sooners music's playing. Because I remember when AEW started, that first Double or Nothing, when the pre-show was going off the air before the main card came on, they did that. JR was walking out, and it just had a big feel to it. It's kind of different. I wish they'd do something like that. Give the guy, for his last run, give him a little nostalgia there.
Or another good question is, Tony Khan, what is the real situation between the Bucks and Punk? Like, are they that soft?
I'm sure his answer can't comment on that. That's what it always is. Now he finally can answer Punk questions, because for the longest time when everybody asks, can't comment on it. Thank you for the question, can't comment on that.
Hey, are the Bucks that soft? And if we get a no comment, at least KOP ask the
yeah,
the tough question.
We'll see what I can come up with.
Yeah.
Or hey, should you have ponied up and paid Cody the money?
He's still in the video game coming out next week, the Fight Forever video game. I
saw that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I will be really intrigued to see if Kingdom is on that game, because it is not on the WWE 2K game.
Ooh.
The actual theme song from Downstate Kingdom, and I'm still trying to get that interview with Downstate, because that's one of the questions I want to ask that CVV didn't ask him. Didn't ask Zach Call, the lead singer, because I want to know what the heck happened there, because that's strange to me. But there's got to be some reasoning. But hopefully I can, because they live in the same city I do. I just haven't been able to. He hasn't responded to me, so hopefully he will soon. So.
He's busy trying to make money.
Well, they are coming out with a new album, so
Yeah.
Oh, that shit's already recorded. It's in editing.
Probably.
Hey, don't forget, again, we'll remind everybody, coming up Saturday night after Collision, Shep and I will be doing a special KOP as we make our predictions for Forbidden Door. So tune in for that. We will be here, and audio will follow on all the podcasts as it always does. So that,
hey,
I guess,
it's Saturday night after 10 o'clock.
It could be fun.
Go ahead and put the explicit rating up now.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know what's going to happen.
Especially if I happen to pop in. I try to watch my language a little bit on here, but
I do too until
we all do. We all do a good job, but
Paul.
Saturday night could be a little wild.
Tanner's bachelor party. It's Saturday night for me. I mean, it's Saturday night. So
Elton John, Saturday night's night for fights.
I don't know. Maybe we could prep Paul, like, hey Paul, you get a little sixer in you before 10:20.
Maybe I will. You never know.
Maybe a little fireball, a little crown. I don't know. What's your flavor?
I don't know.
Whatever you're feeling,
I don't drink much. Yeah.
I don't drink much either.
Shep, last time I had a drink, you bought it.
All right.
Wait, no. I have had one night out since then.
Okay. All right. Well.
And I had Jack and Coke that night.
There you go. Classic.
I tell you what. Is that your go-to? Maybe. Oh man, God, Coke just kills me. But if you want to drink Jack and Coke Saturday night, I don't think I have any Jack, but I'll go get a little pint of Jack, and we'll have Jack and Cokes and talk about Japanese wrestlers. What a great night that could be.
I think you should do some Canadian liquor and some Japanese liquor. That's just me weighing in.
Liquor? Hell, I barely even know her.
That's a good. We're not top of that one.
No, you know what we're going to do, though? We're going to say join us Saturday night for a podcast. But in the meantime, be sure to check out kickingoutshop.com. It's your place to go to get some great merchandise, support a great podcast, and look fantastic doing so. You can get a KOP hat, a shirt, a coffee mug. Mine's upstairs right now getting washed. But, all sorts of great stuff there. Go support the podcast. Look great doing so. You could not get a belt. That is a one of a kind. I paid for that. Anyway, be sure to follow the Kicking Out Podcast on all social media at Kicking Out Pod. Be sure to listen to Kicking Out Podcast wherever it is you listen to your podcast. And if it's Apple Podcast, give us that 5-star review because we are the 5-star KOP. Again, don't forget to join us Saturday as we make our predictions for Forbidden Door so Tanner can lose that belt. And be sure to follow us. Okay. Be sure to follow all of us on social media. You can follow the champion Tanner Lee at TannerLee92. Follow the soon-to-be champion Austin Shepard at TheShep27. And you can follow myself, who will probably come in third place again at this pay-per-view, at Paul Zartman921.
Come on, Roadkill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. With that, for Tanner Lee and Austin Shepard, I'm Paul Zartman. Join us Saturday for a special edition of the Kicking Out Podcast.